Hey, what is up, guys? We are here with the Tanya character breakdown. If you haven't seen our character breakdown videos before, we cover a character's notable normals, strings, special moves, differences between all their variations, as well as a basic game plan. So Tanya is a character who is highly mobile. She has lots of mobility options, even though her walk speed doesn't seem super great. Her backdash, not fantastic. Her forward dash covers a lot of distance, but there's a long recovery on it. Her jump is relatively low compared to a lot of characters as well. It's not really a floaty jump. And the run speed is pretty average, not super quick, not super slow. But trust me, she's going to be zipping around the screen once you see some of her special moves. Before we get into that though, let's take a look at some of her normals and strings. Forward 3 from Tanya is an overhead. It can be charged up and there's a little bounce at the end of it. And it can also be run canceled or dash canceled, which means it's a pretty good mix-up tool because you do it, your opponent stand blocks on reaction, you can run cancel, go for lows or throws or whatever kind of mix-ups you want to do, which is pretty nice. Speaking of lows, her back 3 is a low. It has a string back 3-1, which is universal, 2 hits, and can also be special canceled, which is pretty nice. She has her forward 2, double hitting mid, really good in the mid-range. Very, very nice option for her right there. She has a couple of launchers. 2-1 up 3 is a really good one. 1-1 up 4 is another launcher that she can do, which is special cancelable at the last hit of it, but only in a ground specials, which you would think it looks like it's an air one, but it's not. It doesn't put you airborne. She also has her forward 4, which is a really funky normal, has a string off of it. Has a really interesting string in the Naginata stance, which we'll get into, but yeah, her normals are, pretty interesting. A lot of launchers, not many strings in general. If you look, there's not a ton of strings right there, right? But her different variations give her access to different strings, so we'll get into that in the other two variations because this one only really has one unique string. But let's talk a little bit about her universal special moves. So she has a teleport, down back 3, which is a backwards teleport, and down forward 3, which is a forward teleport. Now, when I mentioned that mobility earlier, this is what I was hinting at because the mobility from this is pretty great, right? The other thing is she can do this in the air as well. And that means she can do stuff like this to just escape situations, run away, or she can do it offensively as well and go into different kind of mix-ups, which is pretty great for her. She can also cancel the teleport, the air teleports, into her neutral jump punch, which gives her access to a pop-up, into a combo. Really, really great for her as well. So the other things that she has that's universal are flip kicks that are overhead and low. So she has the low one, which is back forward 4, looks like that. EX version, pop up, you can combo. And she has down back 4, which is the overhead. EX version has a little extra stomp at the end for some damage. Pretty nice situation. She has some dialogue after too. In the air, she also has overhead and low. So she has down back 4, which is a low. And she has down forward 4, which is an overhead. That's what she has universally. So that gives her access to a lot of mobility, right? Because, she has stuff like that and she can get around the screen pretty easily, which is crazy. Yeah, her mobility is really, really good in the air especially. So let's talk a little bit about Pyromancer. Pyromancer is a very defensive variation. She only has one unique string in this variation, which is back 3, 1, 2, sends them full screen, which is pretty good because this variation is very defensive. It has a fireball that's down forward 1, which is a mid, as you can see there, and down back 1, which is also a mid, but, the hitbox only hits in certain situations. Very good for anti-airing, though. And she can also do these fireballs in the air, which is really great, and you're probably already thinking, can I teleport and throw a fireball? Of course. So something like this is definitely an option, right? That is definitely something that you can go to, and that teleport's going to help a lot in her keep away game. The other thing that she has in Pyromancer is her down forward 2, which is this little genie magic sand throw. And if a fireball hits you after you've been hit by it, it gives you that big explosion with lots of damage. The other thing about it is that it is a standing reset, so it's pretty good in a lot of situations to end your combo with it, if you can keep them standing at least. EX version has armor and gives you the same effect, right? Fireball, boom, big bang, boom, ba-bow. That's Pyromancer. Very simple variation compared to the other ones, very defensive and very projectile based, a lot of runaway, keep away stuff. Kobu Jutsu is a lot more in your face rushdown. Has a lot of unique normals like this back one right here. This is an overhead at the end of it. And you can also do the overhead into low. That's always an option. She has her back 2 as well, which is really, really fast up close. As you can see there, double high into overhead. And then she has her 3-2-1 also, which is a little launcher that you can combo off of. So there's a lot of unique strings there. She also has the back 1, and then she can do 2+4, which is a second hit. and then do 1 plus 3, which gives you this little ender here. Lots of damage in combos. Really, really good for that kind of stuff. Another thing is she gains a unique teleport cancel where she can down and cancel out of the teleport into, you know, Ronin Takeda can do the same kind of thing. Costs 1 bar of stamina, as you probably noticed at the top. You can do it in special moves as well, or off of normals as well, so you can do stuff like that. Which is really nice, so she can mix things up and go for different pressure than she normally could, which is really interesting. She does have a projectile in this variation called Tonfa Toss, down forward 1, looks like that. It is a high 7%. EX version's really plus. That is actually a 3-hit combo. I had time to walk forward first and then hit a button. So yeah, very, very plus projectile. Really, really crazy. She also has a dive kick kind of thing, which is her down forward 2. She can do it off back jump. It is a mid though. It's not an overhead attack, so that's something to keep in mind. She also has Tonfa Swipe, which is a Rekka, which is really, really, really sick, right? So it's down forward 2 is the input for it. It looks kind of like a normal, but it's not. And then she can do down forward 1, and then follow that down forward on up with another down forward 2 for the 3rd hit of the Rekka. Now you can EX this at multiple points. So that is one thing to keep in mind, but the best one is going to be the last one because it gives you a launcher. She can also delay the Rekka a lot, so that's the fastest timing you can do it, but the slower timing like that, as you can see, will catch people who try to hit buttons and interrupt it. So pretty nice for her, right? This variation, a lot of up close fighting, very, you know, stabby normals up close, but also has the access to the projectile as well as, you know, with the mix-ups with the Rekka. So very in-your-face rushdown style, very in-your-face variation in general, and a pretty interesting way to play Tanya. Let's look at the last variation, which is a little bit more rangy, but still has some offensive options. The Dragon Naginata stance. This one, as you can see there, she has a giant pole arm on her back, and she gains a bunch of unique normals that she doesn't usually have in the other variations. So right away she has back 1, as you can see there. Really, really great range on that. Covers a lot of distance. There's a string off of it. Back 1, 2 into the low. But you can also do stuff like that into the overhead. So, you know, you can make it a mix-up if you really wanted to. She has her back 2, which has crazy range. It's really unsafe if you do it up close. But yeah, you can see the range on it is kind of insane. It's not cancelable into anything, though, so it's not going to lead into anything. It just does 5%. But yeah, really, really great range on that. It's crazy, crazy range. She also has her down back 2, which is a unique uppercut in this. It is a high. It has really great range on it. Really great for far jumps, especially. You can't really jump over that. Her back 3 too looks like this. So that low string has a unique one off of it. It's special cancelable, by the way. It may not look like it, but you can special cancel. And the last hit's an overhead, and she also has her forward 2. So that string before that had the low option now has a low or an overhead option. So that helps to mix things up. Now the real thing about this is that it has 2 really unique moves, and I'll show you guys what I mean about that. So there's the unique normals that you can see here, but on the special moves it has her staff stance, which has a bunch of different options, and her swing kick, which can also lead to a bunch of different options. So this really only has 1, maybe 2 special moves, I guess you would say, but there's a lot of things you can do with it. Even though it looks pretty simple, there's a lot going on. So the first thing is the swing kick, which we'll start with. The input for the swing kick is back forward 2. It has huge range. It looks a lot like Nightwing's back 3 if you guys played Injustice. Huge range on it, and the EX version leads to the other special move, which is the staff. This move, just look at it for a second, right? So she's going to balance on the staff stance, and the thing about this is that you have a bunch of different options from here. And remember earlier I mentioned the teleports in the air. You cannot do 2 teleports and 1 jump, but this changes things. This stance definitely makes life a little crazier for Tanya. So one of her options, if she hits 2 again, she pops right out of it. When she can do air moves out of this, as you can see there, and she can also do, you know, special moves or whatever she wants. She can cancel into teleports as well, so that's always an option if she cancels out of it. So that's one thing. Also, if you're wondering, this is an overhead, so it does have a hitbox, in case you're wondering. Like, this is actually a 2-hit combo. So yeah, but as I mentioned, you can actually teleport and then do the same thing again, and then get off, teleport, do it again. So you can just kind of you know, do that kind of stuff. You can even do this if you want. You can do like, oh, whoops. I'm not getting it. There you go. So yeah, you can just keep bouncing full screen over and over if you really wanted to be a jerk. But yeah, that is what 2 does. 1 is an overhead. It has really big range, as you see there. Looks like that. 3 is a low, or she kicks the spear down. 4 is the swing kick that you guys saw earlier, so she can use that to combo and stuff. But one of the most unique things about this is if she hits forward 2 or if she hits back 2, she'll jump off of it. And when she does this, she has access to all of her moves again. So she can still hang out in the air and do this kind of stuff all day. And just keep jumping over and over and over. She really doesn't have to touch the ground if she doesn't want to. Like, until you hit her, you might not make her touch the ground. So yeah, that is her options from staff stance. Like I said, EX version goes to the same situation as before, where she's in the floating and she can get off of it from there. So yeah, staff stance is crazy. She gains a lot of options off of it, low and overhead options. She can jump off of it and do this kind of stuff. And she can also do stuff like this, where she does like this, and that's a 3-hit combo. So she has double overhead option, obviously, and then she can do this, and she can go low. She can hop forward and do it again. So there's a lot of options that are opened up once you get into the Dragon Naginata staff stance, which, yeah, she is all over the place. It's pretty crazy. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the Tanya character breakdown. Highly mobile, really fun character. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon.